Mike O'Neill, Vice President of Legal Affairs at Landmark Legal Foundation, is joining us now again because I like to have him back because this one, I don't even really understand what's going on. So, Mike, why don't you want a special counsel appointed on the Russia hoax? How come?
Well, it's not that we don't want an investigation, and we certainly don't want criminal prosecutions and indictments to come down if necessary. But what a special counsel would do, and for all the reasons we didn't want Jack Smith investigating Donald Trump and prosecuting Donald Trump last year. Remember what happened with Jack Smith? There was the litigation. He was functioning extra-constitutionally. He was functioning outside the bounds of the law. Jack Smith wasn't accountable to anybody. He wasn't subject to impeachment if he was exercising an appropriate power.
We're losing you, man. Couldn't hear anything you're saying.
Oh, can you hear me now? I apologize.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Well, We don't want a special counsel. Let me start again. We don't want a special counsel. It's not that we don't want to have these individuals who orchestrated the Russian collusion hoax investigated or prosecuted if necessary. It's we don't want a special counsel appointed because there's no legal or constitutional authority to have a special counsel operating in this capacity.
Okay. So what are we doing? I mean, because they always appoint a special counsel.
Well, exactly. Well, a special counsel is first of all, there's no statutory, and again, this is what was raised and litigated a lot last year with the Jack Smith appointment. Remember, Jack Smith was the guy who was investigating Donald Trump and was prosecuting in Washington, D.C. and down in Florida. And what happened down in Florida, and Landmark Legal Foundation, my organization, had a small part to play in this. A district court judge, Judge Cannon, down in Fort Pierce, Florida, found that the appointment that the Attorney General did not have the authority, the legal or constitutional authority, to delegate her powers to a special counsel to do this individual. So what would happen, again, say hypothetically speaking, a special counsel was appointed, conducted an investigation, indicted, and sought to prosecute Hillary Clinton, again, hypothetically speaking. What would happen was Hillary Clinton's lawyers would make the exact same arguments that Donald Trump's lawyers made and Landmark Legal Foundation and others made last year and say the special counsel doesn't have this legal authority to do this. It would be litigated at the district court, the circuit court, and probably the Supreme Court. So it really would put a bunch of roadblocks in the process of actually holding these individuals to account.
Okay, so that just means they could drag it out longer, but ultimately they need to pay for this.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be accountability. I'm simply saying that the individuals who should be investigating and prosecuting this are the individuals within the Justice Department who have the authority to do this. And this is U.S. attorneys, not special prosecutors, regular line prosecutors in the Department of Justice, U.S. attorneys, assistant U.S. attorneys, individuals who are vested under the Judiciary Act with the authority and the power to prosecute violations of federal criminal law. These individuals are private individuals. Right now, I know Hillary Clinton is former Secretary of State, First Lady, Barack Obama, former president, but legally speaking, they are private individuals who are subject to the same statutes and authority that all of us are subject to.
I wonder if they know that.
I don't think they do. I think there's a certain degree of arrogance that quite frankly, looking at all of the evidence that's been brought to light in the past several weeks is really serious. And if I were these individuals, number one, I certainly wouldn't be talking about it in public. And you see John Brennan actually going on TV and MSNBC and et cetera, trying to cast his own spin on it. I certainly wouldn't be talking about it. And number two, I would have the most serious criminal defense attorneys I could retain to ensure that my legal rights are protected, because I certainly think that there's some exposure here.
Well, and there's so many of them who are complicit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I understand why you don't want just a special counsel on this, because that would first of all, it takes forever.
Yep.
And I don't want it to take forever. I want swift justice on this, because we already know it was a lie. We already know. So it shouldn't be that hard to prove.
Yeah, I think it's, but again, there's a ground here. Of course, you don't want it dragged out, but you understand the procedural aspects that are going to be at play here. As I said, these are smart individuals who are going to have the very best. If they're smart, and as they are, they're going to have the best criminal defense attorneys they could possibly have. So you're going to have to make sure, if you're looking at this from a prosecutorial standpoint, you want to make sure all your I's are dotted, all your T's are crossed, that you follow every procedure to the T, and that means building a case from the ground up, and taking the necessary time to ensure that you have all of the pieces in place to have a successful prosecution.
Right.
And so that will, and as you said, there's a lot of moving parts here, Fawn. We're talking about a conspiracy, and again, I don't use these words lightly. Grand conspiracy that went from, we're talking middle of 2016, all the way up until through the Biden presidency. So this is years and years of overt acts and furtherance of this conspiracy. And again, the latest one, and you might say the grand jury now, we've seen the news has indicated the grand jury is going to be convened down in Florida. Interestingly, and kind of ironically, the exact same court house where Judge Cannon found that the special counsel was inappropriately appointed last year with Jack Smith. So it'll be in that courthouse down in Fort Pierce, Florida. A grand jury will be convened, and so they're going to have to. And you say, well, the overt act which justified the jurisdiction and the venue for Fort Pierce is the raid on Mar-a-Lago. And so this is something that started from 16 all the way up until the raid of Mar-a-Lago. You're talking many years, a lot of moving parts.
Mm-hmm. And the left has the audacity to say the right is weaponizing the justice system. That y'all have been doing that for so long that we've forgotten how it even works. So, it is kind of staggering how many people are involved here. And I bet they're all crapping their pants. I can imagine what it's like at Hillary's house right now. The screaming between the Epstein files and this, there's got to be a lot of screaming going on at that house. Or cackling.
I would be very concerned if I were any of these individuals. I certainly would be ensuring that I'm taking every possible step to preserve my rights. I think they should understand that they have to be under preserve all their records and documents. There's all kinds of things that are moving parts here. But I would obviously be very concerned. I would have retained the most severe and serious criminal defense attorneys I can, because I do believe that there is significant exposure here. You're talking perjury, you're talking deprivation of civil liberties, you're talking obstruction of justice. This makes it's funny. We talk about, I say this over and over, but we talk about Watergate as the barometer of scandals here in our country, and this sets a new standard. This makes Watergate look like a Boy Scout conclave. It's not even close. And the allegations of lawfare. I mean, I wouldn't want to stand near anybody because I dare that lightning would strike them if somebody says that the Trump administration is engaging in weaponization of the criminal justice system. Keep in mind, under the most ridiculous of predicates, they sought to prosecute Donald Trump in where? Let's just rattle it off: New York City, Washington D.C., Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida. I mean, and these were all just completely, and again, pun intended, trumped up charges. Now we have serious allegations of a conspiracy to deprive the civil liberties of the American people. Sincerely, we elected Donald Trump as president, and they took every opportunity they could to undermine his presidency and undermine his candidacy. Mm-hmm. And it was weaponization of the entire intelligence apparatus. I think that's becoming clear now. And the more you see the media ignore this and downplay it, they're implicated as well, because as we know, they won Pulitzer Prizes here. They were part of the big lie, and so if you're part of the big lie, you don't want to have accountability.
Yeah. Well, are you going to call Pam Bondi and say don't appoint somebody?
Well, I don't think they are, and I think that what spurred this editorial I wrote was that you had Lindsey Graham and John Cornyn, again, kind of establishment Republicans in Washington D.C., who I think they just reflexively say, big scandal, okay, special counsel, independent. They go back, independent counsel, which that law is not valid anymore, but they go right to it. I don't think the Attorney General, the folks in the Justice Department, keep in mind the Deputy Attorney General was Donald Trump's private lawyer last year and litigated the unconstitutionality and the illegality of the Jack Smith appointment. So they know all these roadblocks and all these problems with a special counsel. I don't think they're going to do it. Moreover, I think again, all of this, it looks like the locus of a lot of this is going to be down in Florida. That's the exact same court, as I said before. That's the exact same courtroom and courthouse where Judge Cannon found that the special counsel was inappropriately appointed. So I think they know the state of play here, and I don't see it happening, which is a good thing.
And it's funny, too, that the left has a problem with his former lawyer even being in that spot. They're like, that can't be legal. I'm like, what do you guys care about laws? I mean, they don't apply to anything. Special counsel usually is somebody that would investigate a sitting administration, which is why they did it when Donald Trump was in office last time. Made his life hell over an absolute non-truth. So just the width, like you said, the width and the breadth of this thing is so gigantic that a lot of people must be nervous. I got to say, I was pretty excited the other day when he wasn't in bracelets yet. There was no perp walk, but Adam Schiff is in trouble with his real estate issues. Now, the chickens are coming home to roost on a lot of these things, as Obama's pastor said once upon a time in a church in a land far, far away. But this is gross. This is ugly. This is all Democrat. This is what they do. And with what's going on right now with them hiding in Illinois, I believe to be highly illegal. So I don't know why they keep saying the law goes on everyone. Donald Trump breaks the law, blah, 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 blah. It's a pattern for them. It's what they do.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's funny. You want to compare scandals, and I try to wrap my head around this. What's a bigger scandal? The fact that Joe Biden, who was the president, quote unquote, the president for 4 years, when clearly he was non-compos mentis, right? He had no capacity to function as president of the United States. Look at the contrast, the energy of the Trump presidency with the energy of the Biden presidency. I think Donald Trump has more press conferences in a week than Joe Biden had in 4 years.
Oh, but he slipped on an airplane step though, so now they're the same.
Right, and so it's night and day, and the fact that he was the president, quote unquote, Joe Biden was the president. I don't know what's the bigger scandal: the fact that you had an individual who was clearly lacked the capacity to function as president, running the country, quote unquote, running the country for 4 years, or the individual, this grand conspiracy of the highest of highest officials orchestrating this collusion hoax and continuing it for years and years. I don't. Trying to compare these two, which one's bigger? They're equally terrifying. And I can't believe I'm sitting here saying this. This is in the past 5 years. What has been the downfall of this country? These scandals that are just perpetuating in our country. It's just mind-boggling. And it's good to see right now. Just to turn back to the investigation and the potential prosecutions here. It's good to see that serious people are taking this matter seriously and devoting the necessary attention to ensure that individuals are held to account.
And you know why? Because we're pissed. We've had enough.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, look at what happened. As we said, what have we spent the past 2 years talking? I mean, every day it seemed like there was another nonsense prosecution and weaponization of the Department of Justice.
I'm so sick of hearing the word Russia, I could vomit. Every time I hear the name Russia, I'm like, oh gosh, this better be about the Ukraine war, because if it's once again about Donald Trump, the golden showers, the everything, the Stormy Daniels, just won't stop coming at him with legal. They're running for office on the basis that they're going to get him. Come on.
I like Russia now. I didn't like Russia, but I like Russia now because when we're talking about Russia now, what are we talking about? We're talking about Hillary Clinton initiating and beginning the steps to perpetuate this hoax on the American people.
And she did it.
That she's supposed to. Oh, absolutely. And she did it. Why did she do it? Well, she did it because in 2016 she was facing political pressure. I mean, Bernie Sanders was nipping at her heels in 2016 before Donald Trump even became onto the scene. And then she's facing legal exposure in the form of her email servers, her servers that were unsecured. So she orchestrated this, initiated it. Again, the germ of truth was Russians were up to their usual dirty tricks. Okay, well, let's take that usual Russia dirty tricks, recharacterize it, and amplify it, and hook in some sort of Donald Trump collusion into this narrative, and then perpetuate this lie on the American people. Do this and continue it, and utilize the most powerful instruments of the national security apparatus to continue doing this. Keep in mind, the FISA warrants were all predicated on the Steele dossier. Absolute nonsense. Think of all the exposure there. You're talking about individuals who are signing warrants, wiretap warrants, that are testifying on the penalty of perjury.
Every one of them.
There's so much going on here, Fawn, and it's going to take a lot to unravel. It's going to take some time. I urge patience. I understand you want justice, but remember, we need to make sure that these are serious people you're looking to indict here. And so everything needs to be on the up and up, and everything needs to be all the I's need to be dotted, T's need to be crossed, prosecutors need to be right on the ball with this stuff.
Yeah, Vice President, Legal Affairs, Landmark Legal Foundation. Where do they go to read your op-ed and other stuff that you're working on?
Yeah, you can go to our website, landmarklegal.org, or you can go to, I think it's on the Washington Times, or social media, Facebook and Twitter, Landmark Legal Foundation.
Yeah, and I like having Mike on because, I mean, yes, he talks fast. Somebody said he talks so fast. That's because he's got all this stuff and he just wants to get it out. That's why. I understand him perfectly. So thank you for your knowledge on this, because I was a little confused why you didn't want a special counsel, but now it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And I hope we get them. And I hope Hillary spends some time in jail. I don't want the justice system to cut her a break. I want her in jail. Martha Stewart went to jail. Hillary should go too. So
I mean, I come to that position too. Really, I mean, you're seeing it's interesting. Not to belabor this, but the Clintons have been a thorn in America's side since the '90s. I mean, how many years do we have to continue on this odyssey with these people? Will it ever end?
I still want to know where the money is from Haiti. Where'd that money go?
I know. If you get into the pay-for-play for the Clinton Foundation and when she was serving as Secretary of State, that's a whole other ball of wax you can get into.
Yeah.
So it never ends. It never ends.
It doesn't. And she is. People have suicided themselves from 200 yards away under the guise of Hillary's whatever. I'm not saying it's absolutely true, but lots of rumors. Mike, thanks again for coming on the show. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Take care. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.